So I finished this row with 1 stitch in every stitch with a total of 43 double crochet, and I'm going to make a slip stitch in the first double crochet for this row, and I'm going to chain 1, and I would turn my work. So what we're going to do now is, let me turn the work on the right side because I turned it to make it easier to crochet. So this is how our booty looks like. Well, at this point you can keep your shoe as it is. Well, you would have to make some decreases over here so it wouldn't come out every time you walk. But you could leave your shoe like this. I think they're called Mary Janes in English. And you could make like a little strap over here to hold it better, or like a strap over here from the one side to the other to make it hold better. Well, that's you could do that. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna make our we're gonna start creating the booty. So we're gonna crochet the back part of the booty, and then we're gonna make the tongue over here, and we're gonna see how we're gonna finish it off. So I am going to count from this first double crochet. I'm going to count the first 11 stitches, which were the stitches that we were making 1 double crochet on every stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So from the next stitch is where we started making our decreases, and this is my first stitch, and for the next a total of 7 stitches with this stitch over here is the total of stitches that were decreased. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we want a stitch marker from where our decreases started to where our decreases ended. We're not going to make any more decreases, but we want to know where our decreases were so we know how to make the rest of our booty. So starting to count from the next stitch of my stitch marker, I'm going to count 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On this 5th stitch over here, I'm going to put a stitch marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to turn my booty, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to put a stitch marker over here. So from this part around to this part, we're going to make this back part of our booty from here to here, and we're going to make a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So I have made my slip stitch, and I have made my chain 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my yarn, and I'm going to pull the loop, and I'm going to tighten it up. So starting from this stitch over here, I'm going to put my crochet hook in here, and I'm going to take out the stitch marker, and I'm going to attach my yarn, and I'm going to start my row. So I'm going to grab the yarn and pull it through the stitch, and I'm going to make 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. So this 3 chains count as my first double crochet for this row. So I'm going to start making double crochets from the next stitch, and I'm going to make 1 double crochet in every stitch up until this blue stitch marker over here. So I already have my first stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and my last stitch where my stitch marker is. I'm going to take out my stitch marker, and this is my 28th stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work, and now I'm going to do 4 more rows of 28 double crochet. So I'm starting this row. I have chained 1. I'm going to make a double crochet in the first stitch. 1, oops, so I have 26 stitches, 27 and 28. So chain 1, turn the work, and now we're gonna make 1 stitch in every stitch for the next 28 stitches again. So from this first stitch I'm gonna make a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and my last stitch. If you're afraid that you're gonna miss your last stitch because once you're looking at your work this way, you think that the stitch that we just did is our last stitch. First of all, you need to count on every row. Second of all, if you think that you're gonna miss your stitch, you can put a stitch marker on your first stitch. So my first stitch is this chain 3 that I started with. So this chain 3 is my first double crochet. So this is my 28th stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. So this is how my booty looks like so far. What we're going to do off camera is 3 more rows with 1 stitch in every stitch for the next 28 stitches. So I've completed my 5 rows of double crochet. I have chained 1 after I finished my 28th stitch. So I'm going to cut in the yarn, and I'm going to pull the loop and tighten it up. So this is how our bootie looks like so far. And you could wear it as it is. You could make like a strap over here and wear it like this if you'd like. What we're going to do, we're going to continue, so we're going to make it like a regular bootie. So I'm going to take off those stitch markers. I don't need them. I just put them over here so I know where my decreases were, so I could count back to start this back part over here. So, well, we're going to do those stitch markers to count from where we're going to start the tongue. So this is the stitch where I started the rows for the back part of my bootie. So I'm going to count, this is the stitch that I made my first stitch. So 1, 2 stitches back, I'm going to put my stitch marker. And from this side, this is the last stitch that's being crocheted. So 1, 2 stitches back. So from this stitch marker to this stitch marker, we're going to make 1 stitch in every stitch to make the tongue of the bootie. So I'm going to attach my yarn on this first stitch marker over here. So I'm going to attach the yarn, and I have a total of 5 rows of double crochet. I'm going to make the tongue 7 rows, but by seeing this bootie over here, if you want to make more than 7 rows, you could do that, because the tongue will be steadier. So I'm attaching my yarn, and I'm going to chain 3, which the first chain 3 will give me my first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, that's my first double crochet, and I'm gonna make 1 double crochet in each of the next stitches until I reach my next stitch marker over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and my last stitch will be the 13th stitch. So I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to keep doing 1 stitch in every stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and my last stitch is this chain 3, my 13th stitch. So I'm going to make 1 double crochet in this 13th stitch. I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. This is how the tongue looks like so far. So I'm going to make 5 more rows of 1 stitch for the next 13 stitches, 5 more rows, and I'm going to turn my camera back on. So I've made a total of 7 rows and 13 stitches each. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna chain 1 and I'm gonna make 1 single crochet all around my booty. So when we work single crochet on the horizontal side of each double crochet, that means each double crochet is 2 stitches. 1 stitch is in the middle, 1 stitch in the end, 1 stitch in the middle, 1 stitch in the end of each double crochet. So let's start, and I'm gonna make 1 single crochet in the middle of this double crochet, 1 single crochet in the end, 1 single crochet in the middle of the stitch, 1 single crochet in the end, 1 single crochet in the middle of the stitch, 1 stitch in the end, 1 stitch in the middle of the stitch, 1 stitch in the end, 1 stitch in the middle of the stitch, 1 single crochet in the end, 1 single crochet in the middle of the double crochet, 1 single crochet at the end, 1 single crochet in the middle of this double crochet, 1 single crochet in the end. So this last single crochet that we made is the last stitch of the first row. So now I'm gonna make 1 single crochet in this double crochet that we skipped between the tongue and the back part of our booty, 1 single crochet in the stitch that we started the back part, and since these are double crochet also, we're gonna make again 1 single crochet in the middle of the double crochet. So the middle of this chain 3 is the second chain, one single crochet in the beginning, 1 single crochet in the middle of the stitch, and it's kind of difficult to crochet in the middle of the stitches, 1 single crochet right here in the beginning, 1 single crochet in the middle of the stitch, 1 single crochet right here in the beginning, 1 single crochet in the middle of the stitch, 1 single crochet in the beginning, and 1 single crochet at the start over here of our first double crochet over here, and I'm gonna make 2 more single crochet in this same stitch. So by making 3 single crochet at the end stitch over here in the corner, the first of those 3 is the end of this row, the second is the corner, and the third stitch is the beginning of this row over here. So this is going to be pretty easy up here. We're going to be making 1 stitch in every stitch, 1 single crochet, and this row you could have make it half double crochet. It's in your judgment what stitch you're gonna pick. So 1 single crochet all around our booty. So right here we're at our end stitch over here. So we're gonna make 3 stitches again to make our corner. So this first stitch is the end of this top row. The second stitch is the corner, and the third stitch is the beginning of this row going down. So now we're going to be making again one stitch in the middle of the double crochet, one stitch in the end, one stitch in the middle of the stitch, one stitch in the end, one stitch in the middle of the stitch, one stitch in the end, one stitch in the middle of the stitch, one stitch in the end, one stitch in this middle stitch over here, so you see as I'm going through my stitches, I'm also crocheting in this strand of yarn where I finished the row when I was doing my 28 stitches. This way I save time when I have to secure my yarns at the end. So one stitch in this end stitch over here, and the single crochet that I just did is the end. It's the last stitch of this double crochet when I did my 28th stitch, so this bottom over here. This one stitch is the stitch that we skipped between the tongue and the back part of our booty. So this beginning stitch over here is the first stitch of our tongue. So I'm going to make one single crochet in there, one single crochet in the second chain, which is the middle of the stitch, one single crochet in the beginning of that double crochet, one stitch in the middle of the next double crochet, one single crochet in the beginning of the stitch, single crochet in the middle, a single crochet in the beginning, a single crochet in the middle of the stitch, single crochet in the beginning, single crochet in the middle of the stitch, single crochet in the beginning, single crochet in the middle of the stitch, single crochet in the beginning, and I'm going to make a single crochet on this first double crochet over here where I'm going to do my corner. So I'm going to make 1, 2, 3 single crochet in this last stitch over here. So the first single crochet is the end of this row, the second is the corner, and the third is the row that we're beginning over here. So this is easy now, one stitch in every stitch up until this stitch over here, which is going to be my last stitch, because I started making my single crochet from this side of the tongue. And this is my last stitch, and I'm going to make a slip stitch from the first single crochet for this row, and I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to cut the yarn, and I'm going to pull the loop and tighten up. So this is how my booty looks like so far. So this could be your last row, this single crochet row all around. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this furry yarn over here to make it look like this. So I'm going to add this furry yarn from the start here, from this single crochet that was the beginning for the row, the beginning single crochet for the first double crochet for the row of the back part, up here, and going down up to this last double crochet, single crochet over here. So this furry yarn is a Session Meyer yarn, and I have lost the little paper that's around it, so I could show you. I think it's a baby Session Meyer to make baby blankets. It's pretty soft, so I'm using 2 strands to make it thicker. and I'm using with the 5mm crochet hook that we were doing the rest of the booty. So I'm gonna find this single crochet right here, which is the last. It's the single crochet is the first stitch on this double crochet, the beginning of this double crochet, which is the first double crochet for the back part of my booty. So I'm going to attach the yarn on this stitch. I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to do a half double crochet in this same stitch. So I'm doing one half double crochet excuse me. I'm doing one half double crochet all around up to this point over here. So you want to be careful that that you always have the two strands when you crochet, because the yarn is furry, it's pretty easy to miss the one strand of yarn, so be careful. So we're making one half double crochet all around this back part of our booty. So this is the part where we have made the 3 stitches in the one stitch. So in the first stitch I'm going to make one half double crochet. In the second stitch, which is the corner, I'm going to make 3 half double crochet again, because I want to keep the corner of my booty. 1, 2, 3, because if I don't make those 3 stitches, the corner over here is going to close up and it's going to be like this. And now we're going to be making 1 stitch in every stitch up until the corner again, where we're going to make the 3 stitches again. So as I go along, I crochet along the strands that I started this row with, so that saves me time from securing yarns at the end. So I'm at the point where I have my 3 stitches in the one stitch. So I'm going to do one half double crochet on that first stitch. I'm going to do 3 half double crochet on the middle stitch. So you always want to do your increase on your middle stitch. And then I'm going to start by making 1 stitch in every stitch up until this single crochet over here. And the last stitch over here, my last half double crochet, I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to cut the yarn, and I'm going to pull the loop and tighten it up. So this is how my booty looks like so far, on the one side and on the other side. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to secure my yarns off camera. Well, most of the yarns I have already secured by crocheting them in my work. So I'm going to secure the rest of the yarn, and I'm going to turn the camera back on, So we're gonna see how we're gonna attach the button and this strap over here to finish off our booty. So I have finished securing my yarns, and what I would like to do now is I would like to make this tongue steadier. So in order to make it steadier, I'm going to cut a piece of yarn, and I'm just going to sew in this beginning of the tongue. So this part of the tongue over here has been sewed so it's more steady and it won't move back and forth while you're wearing your bootie. So what I'm doing is I'm attaching my tongue to next of the white part of my bootie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sew in this stitch to this back stitch over here and back again, and I'm gonna bring this strand of yarn in the back on the inside of my shoe, and I'm going to tie a knot. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the opposite side. So this way my tongue is steadier. You could also make your tongue a little bigger, like I said in the beginning of when I did my tongue. So I'm attaching the tongue on the inside part right next to this furry row, and I'm going to sew from the front to the inside. So this way my tongue is steadier. So just right there in the beginning I sew it in, and then I bring this strand of yarn in the inside, and I'm going to tie a knot again. And we're going to secure these yarns over here. So see how better my tongue looks at this point. Now we're going to attach the button. I use just one button, but I would use two, but because I didn't have enough buttons of the same color, I would want to have white buttons or pink. I have this off-white ones, so I used one button on each bootie, and I'm using a smaller hook, a 2mm, and I'm just pulling the yarn through the buttonholes, so you don't have to so it's easier to just pull the yarn in through the buttonholes this way. And bring up the yarn from the other buttonhole. So I want to make an X on the front. And once our button is ready, you have to be careful to attach the button on the right side. If you already have your one bootie done, it's on the left side, so you have to attach the button on this bootie on the right side of your shoe. So I am going to count on the second row of double crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches, and I'm going to attach my button, and I'm going to take one piece of the one strand of yarn, and I'm going to pull it back from the right side of this fifth double crochet, and the other strand of yarn I'm going to pull it back from the left side of this double crochet, and I'm going to tie a knot. And now I'm gonna take a pretty long strand of yarn, which I'm gonna fold in 4 pieces. So we're folding it in half. And then half again. And you're gonna take, see how when you have it in the middle you have 2 pieces on each side? So you're gonna put it on your button, and now you're gonna wear your bootie, and you're gonna see how long you want this strand of yarn to be, and you are going to tie it on the 2nd row and 5th double crochet again. So 1 2 3 4 5. So we're gonna tie it right on here. So I'm gonna turn off my video and I'm gonna measure how long it's supposed to be on my foot, and I'm gonna turn it back on and see how we're gonna do it and tie it on the 5th double crochet. So when I put it on my foot, I wanted it to be about here, and when it's here and on the 5th double crochet of the 2nd row, it's the tightest that I could make it and to fit right on my foot. So I'm gonna tie a knot right on the spot where I want it to be. And I'm gonna cut this yarn, this middle loop. So right where my knot is at, I'm gonna count again on the 2nd row and 5th stitch. 1 2 3 4 5. So on the right side of this 5th stitch, I'm gonna bring back this first 2 strands, and on the left side I'm gonna bring the other 2 strands of yarn, and I'm going to tie a knot again. And my bootie is ready. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn off my camera, I'm gonna secure all these yarns over here, and I'm gonna turn it back on and see how our pair of booties look like. So my pair of women's size booties is ready. I hope you guys enjoyed the video tutorial and have fun making your own women's size booties. This is how they look like. One side and the other side. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video tutorial, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.